Hello, I am doing things differently, so bear with me for a second. I'm trying to see if I can see myself, but I don't think I can. Okay, so anyhow, I don't know if you can see me. How sweet. Okay. Yay! I'm getting sophisticated, you guys. Okay. Here we go. Happy New Year. And as I say Happy New Year, I say it from a place of my heart, my truth, my just my gratitude to be here. Part of the reason why I've shifted my setup again and again and again, because we're all evolving. And as we continue to evolve, we continue to awaken to our truth, to illuminate what is there for us. And sometimes what's being illuminated, we don't really care for. Okay, I had some big epiphanies yesterday, and it was kind of really powerful. I love the stars, I love the sky, and those epiphanies brought forward this pattern that I've been living with. And part of the reason why the theme for our practice today is deepening the connection is because it doesn't matter if the sun is in Capricorn and the moon is in Libra, even though it is, as I record this. However, it is really about this ability to engage in this privilege of our soul's embodiment. And when we deepen the connection, we give ourselves the acknowledgement of this opportunity, okay? We address this essence that sits within us that is hungry to come alive. So, shall we? So I have no idea if you're watching this because I've shifted it. I can't see myself. I mean, I can see kind of, but I have lots of lights shining on me, so I can't really see it. I'm really just looking at the image, A, to see how delayed we are, B, I don't like teaching myself. So again, we're always evolving, and that evolving is to deepen the connection because I have this request for us to strengthen our ability as a group, to strengthen our ability to connect to one another. There's a lot of reasons for it, and I'm going to talk collectively. Is the how we connect is faceless. We don't really know because we're still behind masks. We're still keeping distance, and we are still, which is funny, by the way, I worked on a film called Keep Your Distance, so it's a little bit interesting. However, so in this keeping our distance, we're physically distancing, we're not socially distancing. So let's deepen the connection to the way we can use technology to strengthen our hopes and dreams. We have to be a little futuristic. We have to kind of think further, think bigger. So I'm going to come back to this present moment. Let's ground the foundation of we have this. We have this. No, it's not us all being in person together, but we have an energetic transmission that it's just new, and I'm starting to get more used to it. So we are going to be on our mats. I want to share I want to share this beautiful, I want to introduce you to the things that serve me, which are my plants and nature. And this is something, I have parents who traveled a lot, and this is a sculpture that was gifted to my parents by an amazing sculptor named Zuligan from China. And I studied Chinese landscape painting. I studied Asian art history in college. I did the first time I stood on stage presenting, I was in college, and I presented paper, collection of slides that spoke about the 5 great masters of the Yuan dynasty. So as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, I was fascinated by the esoteric. I was hungry to understand how history was being revealed through image, through pictures, through creation. And art is this beautiful articulation of what's gone before. And what I enjoy so much about art is that there's the transmission of spirit based on the subjective experience. And that subjective experience means you hold authority of what it means to you. So my parents are going through transition, they're moving, they're packing up, and this was a conversation that's been going on for a long time ago, and I said, well, Mom, why don't you let me hold on to the Lotus Man? And as a yogi, the Lotus Man holds a lot of energy for me. So welcome to Zuligan's Porcelain Lotus Flower Man. And it's just, there's so much in this for me. And I've never met Zuligan, but I've met his wife, Lily. Lily lived with my parents for a whole year. You all don't need to know these people, but I need to acknowledge them and recognize them. They have, she is a professor at the University of Beijing. So I've also been to China. I've traveled to Hong Kong and Shenzhen and Beijing. And that was just such a privilege, such an opportunity to experience one of our oldest cultures, right? I've been able to walk on the Great Wall. I got hit by a lot of umbrellas because I'm an American tourist, but anyhow, so let's come on to our mat. This is my first offering of 2021 of really igniting this journey this year through cyberspace. So we always call on the highest good. We're going to call on those 3 breaths as we deepen the connection to our physical body, to our hopes and dreams, to our beliefs, to the vision that we're holding for the collective, for the greater good. We're going to really call on our highest self and invite that in to our experience, to awaken our heart and integrate this connection to the big picture, to the individual, to the highest. And then how do we expand our light by deepening this connection? And how do we expand the impact we have on the world? Okay, so we're going to start seated. Sit in the way that's good for you. One hand to the earth, one hand to your heart. With those 3 breaths that I just walked you through, the connection to the physical, the spiritual, and this embodiment. Bring both hands to your heart center. Bring the palms together. Offer up your own intention. Calling on the space above you and below you, behind you, before you, and to either side of you. Dropping into your own heart. Calling on that highest, drawing a circle of light and intention around our individual selves, this community, cyberspace, that we can use technology in a way to bring our sense of spirituality forward, the creative transmission of the way we network for the greater good. And we offer up that intention of our heart so that we can co-create. Let the fingers point forward, let the palms turn open. Allow the head to bow down. Open your eyes, looking into the palms of your own two hands. And then what we're going to do is offer up. You're going to come standing on your hands, your knees. And as you offer up, you're going to tuck your toes, draw the shoulders back, open your arms. Big full breath in. We're starting on our knees because it's a quarter moon. We're going to welcome in that harmony. We're going to welcome in the beauty. We're going to welcome in grace. Big inhale, arms go overhead. And then as you exhale, hands come to heart center, touching into the earth, touching into the ground, touching into the foundation, and welcoming in the breath. Inhale, opening the heart up. And then exhaling, rounding the back, chin to your chest. Inhale, opening the heart up. Feel the muscles awakening, the connection to little traces of your home life. Round the back, chin to your chest. Inhaling, opening up, and feeling your own vision for yourself expanding, deepening that connection just by moving and breathing in a way that's aligned and harmonious. Exhaling, rounding the back. And how can we bring that vision forward? How can we share it out into the world? Inhale, opening the heart. One more time, exhaling, rounding. Good old-fashioned cat-cow is never a bad idea. I just get bored of it sometimes. Inhale, opening. Now, as we open, we're going to tuck our toes, pull our hips back, and pause here. We are in the land in between. We're thinking we're in table. We're thinking we're in downward dog. Hug into the midline. Plug the arms in. Plug the thighs in. Feel the connection. Relax the neck and jaw. And then stretch out through the left leg. Holy moly, wake up that whole back side of the left leg. And then exhale, bend. Hug to the midline. Plug in. Engage. And then extend out. Because our life is the result of the way we engage. So let's engage with a little more intention. Knees bend, pull into the center, plug in, and stretch out. So yes, how many times have you pedaled your feet out in downward dog? Knees bend, draw in, extend out. But how often do we just rush through it? Knees bend, hug in, extend out. So if you haven't watched my energetic signature for January, I encourage you to do so. It'll make sense of how we're moving. It'll help you connect. It'll help give you something to contemplate, to deepen the connection, to call on your highest self, and show up for your highest purpose. Stretch out. So each breath, we're moving through these moments of alignment, so our action is very inspired, but that inspiration comes from a deeper connection. Last one. Oh yeah, bend the knees, and then we're going to climb forward, walking foot by foot, step by step. The earth is rising up to meet you, so when you feel yourself in that land of in-between, pause. Take the ability to respond intentionally, to choose mindfully, come onto your fingers, and then walk forward some more. Both feet beneath you, and then just bow. 5 breaths here. No movement. Just bow into your own light. Honor all the distractions of your life. The deepening of your own intention, the deepening of the resolve, the deepening of the connection to your highest self, and the deepening of the offering to the greatest good. Bring the hands up to your heart center. Shoulders drawn to your back. And inhale, rise up. Once you come standing and you feel yourself standing in that light, stand tall, hands to heart center. Tadasana, grounded to the earth, strong to your core, rising up. higher and higher. Let the hands melt down from your heart. Clasp the hands behind you, shoulders to your back. You're going to bend your knees, thighs pull back, hug into that midline. Inhale that left knee up. Keep the knees bent. Keep everything bent. Elbows bent, knees bent, core in, shoulders to the back body. And as you bend, you're going to shift. Keep the knees bent. Keep the knees bent. Lean forward. This is not easy, okay? Lean forward. Knees are bent. Draw into your core. Inhale. Come back upright. Yes. Balance. If it's too hard to have hands clasped, hands to your hips. Shift. We're hinging on the thigh bone. So we're keeping the core really engaged. That's why the knees are bent. So we can stay connected to our foundation and we can feel how we're pivoting. As you pivot and shift, pull into the core more. Stretch your leg all the way back. Pause, lean forward. Orient yourself to your own intention. Pull into the center, shoulders to your back. Lift through the heart. Hands clasp. Shoulders are drawing in. Core's drawing in. Lift through the heart. Feel the expansiveness of life smiling back at you, supporting you. Exhale, bow all the way back to the ground. Hands come to the earth. Right leg lifts up. Bend the knees again. Pull into the center. Keep the right knee bent. Stretch the leg up high. And then open the hip out up. So you go from an internal rotation to an external rotation. And then expand. Stretch through the foot. Stretch through the leg. Feel that great expansive nature extending out. And then bring your knee forward to your wrist pigeon. From pigeon pose, come upright onto your fingertips. If, what's that word? You need to come to your forearms. Come to your forearms. You're going to draw in. Feel that strength. Draw into the core. So there's volume here. There's a lot of physicality here. Pull in. Hug the arms to the midline. Rise up. So elbows are bent, pulling to that midline. Big, full breath in. Breathe into the container of you. Deepen the connection through the breath. And then exhale, hands come to the earth. Lift up, right knee pulls up. Stretch the leg back, downward dog. Draw into your center and then walk your hands backward on the mat. So pull back, because the way we reorient and deepen the connection is we reconnect, okay? And as we reconnect, we resume that intention of our heart. Relax the neck and jaw. Bend the knees, hands to heart center. Rise all the way up standing. As you get the lift, hands reach back, shoulders drawn to the back, big full breath in. Sweep the arms high. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, and then exhale. Arms go wide, fold all the way down to the earth. Inhale, plank, all the way into your plank. From that plank pose, be strong to the midline, strong to your core. Knees high or low. We're going to go chaturanga up, dog, down, dog. Bend the elbows down to the earth. Shoulders drawn to the back. You can go to cobra because we came to the earth. I really want to come to the earth today for a lot of different reasons. Shoulders drawn to the back. Inhale, curl the heart up. So cobra or pull in, hug in, upward dog. Deep, full breath in. And then exhale it back, downward dog. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Slowly walk your feet forward. I'm pretty sure I've cut my head off in my new arrangement, but it's okay. I connect to it, and then I'll fix it. It's all good. I'm human, you're human. Bow. 5 breaths here. And as you bow into your breath, you might have to adjust things like your wardrobe, right? I don't need to be half naked doing yoga. And then hands come to your heart. Shoulders drawn to your back. Hug into that midline. So hold the energy of you. That's deepening the connection. You're hugging to allow your spirit to come alive. You're pulling inward to receive. Hands come by your side, shoulders to your back. Hands clasp, and you switch the clasp. Bend the knees, so you're gonna pull into the center. Quads are working, buns are working, feet are grounded, but the toes are not clenching. We're not holding on to the foundation, we're trusting in it. And as you draw in, right knee rises. Pull to the midline, knees stay bent. You're actually pulling the waistline back to stay plugged in, knees stay bent, bow forward. And then draw in, come forward, right? Exhaling, hinging. One side's more solid than the other. Anybody notice that? So we're not trying to balance, we're trying to harmonize. Like, let's say one is a lower octave, one is a higher octave. So we find that center, to harmonize. Maybe you fall over too. Okay, here we go. Right foot's gonna go back. Knees bent, pull into your core. Glide the right foot back. So you're leaning forward so you're able to respond. When we move too fast, we're just too reactive. Pull into the center, shoulders drawn to the back. Inhale, curl the heart out. And really embracing a slower pace is a little secret to this year. Full breath in, exhale, hands to the earth. Ground in, lift up, left leg's gonna lift, bend both knees, hug to the midline, plug the arm bones in, thigh bones pull in, and then you expand. Open the hip up, and as you open the hip up, then you stretch through the right heel, up through the left leg, without, again, breaking the connection. Although my shoulder just popped, my hip, my knee just popped. And then come back through the center, knee comes forward, Rajakapotasana. And as it comes forward, find your hands, lean forward, draw the energy in, inch the knee in. And as the knee inches in, you're gonna pull in to that container. You're gonna deepen the relationship. You're gonna deepen the connection to yourself because we've called on the highest. Hands clasped back behind you. Shoulder blades hugging, core hugging in. Everything's pulling into your center to bring forward the harmony. And sometimes the harmony is high-pitched, or maybe it's low and deep. Full breath in. Exhale. Hands come down. Root into the earth. Pull into the midline. Back knee lifts. Knee comes up. And then downward facing dog. And we're going to walk our hands backwards. And as our hands walk backwards, we bow, we fold, we breathe. Hands to the heart, shoulders to the back, rise up, hands come by your sides, hugging into that center. I'm just going to tuck my whole shirt in. It's a new look, by the way. Tucked in clothes. And as you're there, you're going to draw the arms by your side, shoulders come to your back. Inhale, arms sweep up high, interlace the fingers, turn the palms up. And then exhale, arms go wide, hinge the hips, fold forward all the way into plank pose. Climb it forward. As you're in plank, pull into the center, knees high or low, to the earth. Pause into the earth. Allow the earth to hold you. Feel held, feel supported. Then breathe into that connection, shoulders to your back, call on your highest, and then choose with integrity, mindfully rise up, word facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, or Bhujangasana, Cobra, and then pull through that midline all the way back, downward dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Slowly walk forward. And as we walk forward, think of your future. Think of that vision, those dreams. When I was in China, When I was studying 20 years ago, when I was traveling the globe 20 years ago, I had no idea that one day I would be here teaching yoga online. I didn't even know I was going to be a yoga teacher. Bow this time fully. So we can't know the future clearly, but we can clarify our own wants and desires. Fold over Uttanasana. Whatever Uttanasana is for you. Exhale up completely. Inhale, lengthen the spine, opening up. Exhale, bow down. Knees are gonna bend. And as the knees bend, pull into that center, hands come to the heart. So here we are in Utkatasana, playing with that theme. Shoulders to the back, draw into the core. And as we draw into the core, we're gonna shift the weight and expand. And as we expand, pull into the middle. And as you pull into the middle, hug into that midline. Here we are. Warrior 3. Free the hands in front of you or behind you. And then from there, we're going to land into Warrior 1. So ground into it. Feel the connection. Same idea here. Pulling in, then rising up, opening the heart. Deep, full breath in. Exhale the hands to the earth. Find the fingertips. Bend the back knee, extend through the front leg. Realign, come back. What's the intention? Realign and then expand. Bow. Ground in to your higher purpose. Mindful of knees, don't drop and hyperextend. Keep the big toe mound on the ground. Calf alive, and then we're going to shift forward, standing splits. Walk the hands forward, back leg lifts. It's not wild and free. We're actually respecting the structure of our being to experience our sense of freedom by remaining true to what is true, right? Exhale, the foot's going to come back. We're going to go into downward dog. Right leg sweeps back to the sky. So pull in, draw in. Right leg goes up to the sky. Standing splits here, but in downward dog, right? Down dog splits without dropping that left side. Opening up fully. Exhale, step the right foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel to the floor. Keep your hand on the ground or bring it to your thigh. Push into the earth, plug in, connect, and then expand. Expand into your future, expand your hopes and visions, embody the form of the pose. Deep, full breath in, and a deep, full breath out. Then exhale the hand to the earth, spin the back heel up, knee comes to the ground, hips sweep back, right heel roots, right foot flexes, right calf lifts, and then sweep the thighs back, stretch the heart forward. Gracious breath in. Gracious breath out. Exhale, lunge forward, going to plank pose. Ground into the earth, inhale, plank. From that plank, stay steady, stay strong. You can go all the way to the earth, all the way to the ground, slowly, clearly, breathing. Come to the earth, feet point back, hands move back. Inhale, Shalabhasana, either your palms are up or down. Draw into that midline, and then inhale, just expand. Come back to your vision of your higher purpose. Hug into it, integrate it in. Hands under your shoulders, feet ground to the earth. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale it back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Full breath in. Full breath out. Breathe deeply. Breathe in deep into the back body, the whole of yourself. The structure of you as you're present to all that's shifting right here on your mat. Climb forward. Bow in. Hands to your heart. Shoulders to your back. Inhale, rise. Knees bend. Pull into that center. hugging close. Hands, stay at the heart. Yes, I'm forgetting. Shoulders drawn to the back. So here we go, right leg's gonna lift. So pull into the middle. When the knees are bent, the thighs are back. Knees are not bent, hips pushing forward. Thighs are back, shoulders are in. Feel the connection, right foot rises. So here's that hinging at the hips. The heart's expanding forward. The legs, the energy from the heart down is grounded. It's all connected to the center. And then we feel the expansion, the harmonious dance of energy going downward, outward, as well as upward. Express the hands as that works for you. And then warrior one. Land into it, lean into it, hug into it, deepen the connection, and breathe. And as you breathe, turn your palms away from each other and feel just the shift of orientation and what it does for you. Exhale, hands to the earth, find your fingertips. You're gonna bend the back knee first. So on this side, my heel comes up, it's all good. But it's to pull up into the left waistline, move both thigh bones back so we stay engaged, draw the shoulder blades in more, and then expand through the back leg and bow. So what we're doing is we're holding steady with that vision, deepening the connection even to what's been, right? This leg's been free. So we use that freedom to anchor us for the greater good and feeling the goodness in of yourself. I think my alignment's really off, but I'm just going to acknowledge that and keep moving. Hands come to the ground, lift up. Left leg goes up, standing. Oops, I left something out. Left foot steps forward, shifted forward. My left leg's like, why did you do standing splits? Pull in, bow in. So lead, even I tend to still pull in this pattern of pulling my head to my shin. And it's like completely disregarding this energy of me. But the identity of me is like, look, I'm there. So we want to do the greater good. Hug in. Lead from the heart. Pull through the core. Relax through the neck and jaw. No, it's not this crazy free-for-all. There's a lot of integrity in the deeper layers of ourselves. Now we'll exhale the foot back. Hands to the earth. Left leg goes to the sky. Open up into the splits. We already did it, but just feel the freedom in that leg. And then exhale. Step the foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel. Find your fingertips. I really might have to, Aquarius season, always start on the left foot first, okay? So here we are, either hand to the earth or elbow to the thigh, ground into the earth, thighs move back, pull into the core, shoulders drawn to the back, and then expand. Feel what you're anchored into, what you're expanding into, what are those hopes and dreams? High five them. And then exhale, hand to the earth, spin the back heel up, step it back, downward dog. Oh, geez, I'm totally forgetting the side. Come back. Knee comes to the earth, hips pull back, stretch through that left leg. I'm human, and I'm really releasing the ties to trying to control it all, right? There's this, and let me know if you're right there with me, somehow, some way, of making it so perfect so none of you guys leave me, right? That nobody leaves me. That sense of abandonment is a really strong pattern that I'm trying to acknowledge that I know deep down we're never alone, so how can I trust that I'm not going to be left behind and abandoned if it's not just right? So knee bend, pulls into the belly, flex the foot. If you haven't already bowed, bow. My hope is if I can be clear with you guys, you can be more honest with yourself. Lift the knee straight to plank pose. Pulling, because the future is what is reminding me of what I forgot in this moment. So it's actually a good practice. Elbows bend to the ground. Feet point back. So I'm going to do the same. Actually, you can sweep back. That which isn't serving me, right? Straight from the heart. Push it back, offer it up. Inhale, expand, widen. Get back to that big picture vision, hopes, dreams, clarifying, honoring the slower pace, hug to the midline. And notice how through there the connection deepens. Clear the neck and jaw, hands under the shoulders, feet ground down, cobra or bhujangasana. It's as I'm recording this, waning moon, the last quarter. So I'm just really embodying the challenge of transformation, downward dog. Full gracious breath in, full gracious breath out. Inhale, right leg goes to the sky. Bend both knees, pull into that center, realign. Open the leg, open the hip. Full breath in. And then exhale, step the foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel to the earth. Grounded, squeeze. So bring your right hand just below your right knee. And what I want you to do is make peace fingers, squeeze, pull into the center, push into the earth. But as you're pushing into the earth, you're pulling into your center. Right? The back leg is more internally rotated. The front leg is more externally rotated. Shoulders draw in. Heart expands. Lengthen through the neck and throat. Arm sweeps to the sky. Big full breath in. Full breath out. And then through that expansion, knee bends. Heel, toe, the back foot in. Shift the weight forward. And inhale. Half moon. Right waistline pulls up, shoulders draw in, and expand. Feel the connection. This free leg is still connected to your own boundaries, your own values that you've clarified, so you can expect the unexpected with grace. Exhale, we're going to step back. The left hand's going to come to the earth. Climb into downward dog. I don't want to be too fancy on you. You can bring the left knee to the earth and come into side table here. Or just climb it back. Push into the pinky toe side of the left foot. Stretch the feet. Right arm extends. Opening the heart. Deep full breath in. Deep full breath out. Hand comes to the earth. Lift up, downward dog. Knees come to the ground. Move it all the way back, child's pose. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. Hopefully you're okay with the quietness. I am going to shift so I can feel what my orientation is. If you're at home and you want to shift and you can, go for it. But it's really just for my own experiment. So inhale up onto your hands and knees. And as you're on your hands and knees, bend your elbows, shoulders drawn to the back. Left leg goes back, right leg goes back. Chaturanga, elbows bent. So you can totally do this with your knees down, and there's still just as much connection. Point it back, sweep it back. Inhale, rise up, not from your chin, but through the sides of the throat. Hands come beneath you, feet ground down, upward dog or cobra. Lift up. Move back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Here we go. Heels lift, knees bend. Left leg comes up, bend the knees. Hug back in, reconnect. Knee lifts, open the hip up. And then inhale, stretch the foot through, Pivot the back heel to the ground. Left hand comes, you squeeze the shin bone, okay? My index finger, middle finger are straddling the front of my shin. You draw in. I like to bend the knees because I can actually harmonize the energy of my pelvis more fully. I can bring the beauty with greater effort, more clearly. Waistline lifts up, shoulders drawn to the back, and then expand out, opening, breathing, and then shifting. We're gonna go into half moon pose. Shift the weight forward, heel toe the back foot in, and then open into it. So there's a tendency to drop all the way down in the half moon. What I want you to do is actually pull up. Pull the waistline up, wrap the outer hip, kick the leg down, draw the shoulders in, and then that way when you expand, you're expanding from that depth of connection to your whole self. Big, full breath in. And then exhale. Foot comes down, hand comes to the earth. I knew I would forget what we did. Okay. Hand comes to the earth, spin the back heel up. Either your right knee comes down, your left leg stretches back, and you come into side plank, or your left leg stretches back, you come to the pinky toe, feet stack, draw in, no matter where you are, that sideways, which is probably has expanded for all of us, and open. But here you are. You're addressing how you want to be by showing up the here and now. Deep breath in, and then exhale. Pull it back, knees to the earth. You're gonna go into child's pose. I'm not gonna talk. 5 breaths, okay? Can you be at peace with the silence? Inhale, slowly rise up. You're just going to roll over to one hip, sweep your legs around. The harmony of the physical expression is important to me. I'm not going for perfectionism. I'm just going for ease on your eye. So come seated, soles of the feet together. There's somebody who's called me out and I appreciate it. She says, when I'm in teaching voice, I speak differently than when I'm in just like explaining myself voice. So it's true. Left leg goes out, cross the right leg over top. And as you cross the right leg over top, I'm rocking from sit bone to sit bone. We've just done a lot of our practice on our feet and our hands, okay? And so what I want us to do is feel as we're seated that we can actually ground in, right? Deeper the connection to the present moment. The space that I'm working on continuing to contribute and cultivate is mindfully you. So you can be present, you can really embrace the gift of yoga, of becoming more of the observer and the witness, not to be passive in life, but then to be able to return, realign, and re-offer the truth of your being. So both sit bones grounded, pull, so hug into that connection, shoulders drawn to the back. Left arm goes up. Notice I'm on my fingertips of my right arm, so I can draw into the center more. Feel that connection fully. Elbow comes to the outside of the knee, shoulders draw in. Big gracious breath in, gracious breath out. And then inhale, come back through the center. Expand the right leg out long. Bring the left foot to your inner thigh. Adjust your sit bones again. In that adjustment, then we can refine and reorient ourselves. Draw in, pull into the core. Inhale, arms go high. Never do this because my back totally spasms. But arms go high, hug in, and then feel that length. Expand out, find the foot, bow in, head to knee pose. You're going to torque the right rib cage down. I don't care if you don't think you are, I promise you are. So what we're going to do is pull the hands back as much as you need to. Lift up into the right waistline and then move from the heart. And bow that left side of the chest down. Breathe deeply. Exhale out completely. Lift the core up. Draw the shoulders in. Plug in. Feel the connection. Inhale, rise all the way up. I never do it that way. Inhale, stretch the leg out. But we want to find the new connection, new ways of connecting. To think big, so we have to be willing to do things differently. Here we are, social media. Bend that left knee. Bring it over. Hopefully your sit bones are already in a good spot because we just had this left knee bent. Ground into it. Recenter. Left hand goes behind you so that you can get that lift. So it's not about just busting out with the bus, but really pulling into the core, shoulders drawing. Right, like you're aiming high. What is that higher purpose? What is... Don't get so caught up in how you're going to change the world, but get caught up in reorienting yourself to your value, to your worth, to loving this life, this opportunity to embody and experience life school, even though we're living through some rather divisive and turbulent times. So don't be divisive with yourself. Start with yourself. Breathe all the way in. And all the way out. Inhale, come back through the center. As this leg will stretch out. Bend your right knee, open the leg up. So adjust here, right? Some of you are going to take the sit bone further back. If you can, keep it more even where you can feel more balance on both sit bones. It's more of like a half forward bend and a twisting head to knee. But they're both head to knee. Right? Pull in. Even the yoga world's been decisive. No, this is what the pose is. No, this is what the pose is. The pose is your experience. We just have names on things and technique around things to help facilitate a healthy connection to the deeper layers of who you are. That's yoga. So find it. Holy moly, there's just some interesting things that I'm not used to feeling in my body. So pull into the center, inhale the arms up, hug in, draw in. You're going to pull the waistline back, extend the spine long. So you're not extending the arms out of the body, you're actually integrating into you and then expanding that integration out into the world. Right now, it's just in the forward bend we're experiencing right now. And the poses give us the parameter to understand how we're engaging. Again, you're going to torque, right? So we would just be aware of that, and rather than overriding the refinement, we respect and honor how to bring more equality into our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves. And that's going to show up right now in the structure of our practice, the discipline of yoga. Exhale out, lengthen the spine, draw in, lift the heart, peek out into the world. And then as you peek out, rise up. Deep breath in. Free the hands, both legs stretch out. Paschimottanasana. Find Dandasana first. Find the staff of the pose. And as you find the staff of the pose, find the length, draw in. And as you draw in, pull the waist back. Inhale the arms up. My feet are flexed. And I'm looking at my feet, and I'm so used to orienting the feet straight up. Then I pause and look at my knees, and my knees are torqued in. So I'm actually going to walk my legs closer together. You know, I danced ballet all through my formative years. I was not a competitive professional dancer, but it is how I've moved my body with this refined, repose, grace-like connection. So in those developmental days, I always had my feet turned out. I don't really talk so much about what our hips were doing. So I'm orienting from my knees. I'm orienting from the relationship between my hips and my feet and orienting from the center, from that point of equality. Pull in, arms rise up, shoulders draw in. If we can't embody the physiological aspects, if we can't be aware of the physiological aspects, then how are we going to be aware of the mental, emotional, and soulful? Lengthen, bow. And notice if one side is tipping more than the others, one sit bone heavier than the others, one hamstring tighter than the other. Every pose we've done has exposed the duality of the body. But we need the two sides. We need the back side, the front side. We need the right side, the left side, the inside, the outside, the top side, the bottom side, to understand what our center is. What the foundation of our own purpose truly is, only you know. And you may have so many passions, but I guarantee you there's a root cause, a root motivation to all of that. 3 breaths. Earth, heavens, and heart. Exhale out completely, lengthen the spine. Inhale, inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead, bring the hands straight to the midline. Pause at the center of your forehead. Pause at your heart. Three breaths here, being upright. You can let the legs go, you can let the feet go, but feel steady as you release and cut ties to the edge, that you can feel more steady in the expanding the edge of your innermost self. Let the head bow. Let the hands relax. Your hands are going to come to the earth. Choice, you can go to the wall and do legs at the wall, into a supported shoulder stand, into plow pose. Slowly working with my own dreams more, and there's a big call to do plow pose today, okay? So, what are your dreams calling from you? So you're either going to go legs up the wall, and that might be enough. You know what's enough. Remember, you hold authority. You are in charge. I'm giving you suggestions. I'm giving you guidance. I'm sharing from you all the knowledge I've acquired based on experience, layered in that with the transmission of my soul's wisdom, my intuitive wisdom. But you've got to do that too. So you're going to go to shoulder stand or legs up the wall. We're going to start there. And as you start, I should have touched my shirt in again, right? As you start, so throat's open, the vertebrae of the neck are not on the floor. So I recommend as you roll back, you bend your knees so your shoulders can draw in. You feel the opening of the throat. You want to tuck your tail, but you also want to feel this ability to draw the shoulder blades in. The gaze stays to the sky. You hug in,
And then what we're going to do is we're not going to try to take our knees up to the ceiling first. Okay, try it out. Notice how it throws you off. You're going to bring your knees forward. And yes, if you have blankets nearby, you know how to do shoulder stand on a blanket, and it supports you, go for it. It actually causes more problems with my neck. So knees are forward, tipping forward, so your thighs can move back, and then engage the tail. And when you just extend from your knees to your feet, you're going to notice you're not in a full vertical line. That's the idea of deepening the connection. We're not just going for the external validation, we're actually deepening the connection to the internal so we can align with our highest self and expand. And as we expand our own light, our own purpose, from this deepening connection, we allow others, we give others the permission as well. Slowly, so knees bend. Let your hips tilt back. Keep the thighs pulling in. Outer hips are still wrapping. Tailbone is anchored. And we're going to come into plow. You might get here and be like, holy crap, I can't go any further. You might come here. Breathe. We're not going to interlace the hands. We're not in overly aggressive expression of the practice. We're in an overly power-filled refinement of the experience, of the practice we know. Even if you're still new, you're refining the experience and the relationship with yourself, deepening the connection. We're going to go back to the earth. So your knees are going to bend. You're going to keep your hands by your hips so you can help guide vertebrae by vertebrae to the floor. You're going to come to the floor. Your knees are going to bend. You're going to open your knees so the tail can get really heavy. So if your legs are up the wall and you just did this, you come back to the wall. You bring your hips down. The knees are bending. The knees open wide. If you're at the wall, you just rest into the wall in Baddha Konasana. Otherwise, we're going to hold the ankles. Let the knees fall open. Let the legs fall and feel just the releasing through the neck and shoulders, the jaw softening. So no hard edge. We're soft on the outside, strong on the inside. That diamond essence, that clarity of the crystallization. 3 breaths. Earth, heaven's heart. Appreciate the physical moment. Call on the higher energy of yourself and allow them to integrate into your own heart and the energy that you offer back out. Bring the knees together, feet to the earth. Stretch your legs out long or walk the feet wide, whichever one is good for you. Realign the spine. Come into that sacred art of connecting to yourself, of deepening the connection. Arms by our sides. We're going to just do a flowing breath where you exhale out, pause at the bottom of the exhale just so you acknowledge the end. Inhale in. Pause at that place of fullness. Acknowledge the top of the breath and then exhale out. Acknowledge the bottom of the breath. The full potential that you hold and then receive the opportunity to breathe life back in. Pausing in the experience of the potential of the breath. Releasing the attachment to all of that, exhaling out. Pausing and that you released so you can reopen yourself to the opportunity to receive the breath, inhaling in. Of deepening the connection to the simplest bit of breathing. Honoring that potency of where you can actually, you have no more space. So we release so we can redefine and re-clarify our purpose, our connection,
And our purpose is to be with the breath, the body, the mind, the spirit, the heart, the soul. Inhaling in, pausing at the top, receiving the fullness of the connection. Exhaling all the way out. Last time, pausing at the bottom, holding the space because we've created it. We've co-created it between the body and the mind and our own intention. Inhaling in. This time as you exhale, you're going to exhale to the heart. And then you're going to inhale into the pelvis, softening and releasing, and then exhaling back to the heart. And just allow the breath to be. Allow your arms and your legs to shift as necessary. Let the ground hold you. Feel settled, held, supported. The foundation of your practice, of the structure you're giving your day, your life, by engaging in a physical practice that deepens the connection to our sacred essence. And so opening yourself up into that higher connection. It doesn't mean you're out on one of Saturn's moons. It means that you might be just above your chest or your third eye, or maybe on the ceiling looking down, knowing that there's a bigger, expansive offering available to you. No overachievers right now. No working too hard, just being and breathing. If you simply allow for a deeper connection to the space behind you, above you, to either side of you, beneath you and before you, it's good. Now you're just going to feel your breath. That opportunity to come alive. The invitation to cut ties with the attachment of the whole practice thus far and begin again. This time you're beginning, though, from the recognition of your whole self. Stretch your arms back behind you. Oh, big sigh, big breath. Just as you are, bend your knees. Just as you are, soften the heart. Just as you are, bring your knees into your chest. And just as you are, hold yourself. Meet yourself where you are on the journey. Respecting the closure, intentionally beginning again with more clarity, more connection, more integration. You're going to roll over to one side. Stay there for as long as you like.
And then slowly, when you're ready, rise up. I don't stay long because it's very agitating to my infrastructure. Once you rise up, remind yourself of where you are. Your body, your mind, your heart, your environment, your relationship, and feel the depth of your senses, that discernment, that you can breathe in more fully. One hand to the heart, one hand to the earth. That body, heavens, and heart breath, honoring the wisdom of the body, thanking the guidance of your highest, and breathing more deeply into the truth of your essence. Allow both hands to come back to your heart. Smile inwardly at that potential. That something called you to your mat, something pulled you forward to hit play, something tickled your fancy to do this particular practice. And all that is that desire to connect more deeply with your inner self, your inner world, to feel the connection within. Not to judge, was it good or bad? Was it just right? But rather to notice your ability to breathe more deeply and the fact that you have this opportunity to breathe again, to begin again. So we begin again by saying thank you, thank you, thank you to our inner light. And that we see that light calling forward and we say hello and we acknowledge that is the same light that's outside of us and in one another that it is in our own selves. Bring the hands together in front of the heart and straight from my heart to yours. Namaste. But because it's the beginning of the year, I feel called to share Namaste, 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 Namo Namaha. Thank you for being here. Thank you for deciding to participate with me in a new platform. I mean, I've been doing this for a little while now, and I've been teaching yoga for a really long while, and I've been traveling and exploring the emotional realms and the depth of ourselves for, I think, my entire lifetime. But I thank you for being here, whether you're watching this live, replay, YouTube, wherever it's coming to you, however, whatever platform you're connecting to. We're connected by an invisible string. We're connected by the breath. And to let me know of that connection, please, I'm calling out for us to build the connection to community, because it's faceless right now. We don't know what it looks like, but we can give birth to that creativity, that offering from our own heart. And that's all creativity is tuning in more with your hopes and dreams, refining them, re-clarifying them, allowing them to be the policy or the guiding principles for yourself, and using them as your boundaries, but engaging. Staying quiet isn't a choice anymore. However you want to interpret that, but we're not connected physically, where we're making that eye-to-eye transmission. So we have to learn how to voice it, but voice it from the place of a heart-to-heart transmission. That's all I'm calling on, to be more mindful of your light, the light of one another, and how we can connect. I sound so much like a yoga teacher right now, but it is very, very much my truth. So join me again. I'm really letting go of the ties of always adapting to everybody else. I will say one of my highest principles is to be a mom.
and care for the emotional well-being of my children. That's why I chose to be a mother. So I do have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. However, I can also show them how not to undermine their needs, and by modeling that. So I'm going to really be an advocator, and I've so gone over my time frame right now, but I'm re-emphasizing we can connect. And my hope is that the boundaries of this space give you that sense of comfort to speak out. Send me a message, write a comment, email me, info@teresaphelpsmartin.com. However you want to do that, go for it. If you feel moved to contribute energetically to the resource that I can continue to offer from, you can go to Venmo at Teresa-Phelps Martin. You can also go to PayPal. Venmo is PayPal, by the way, just in case you didn't know that. It's just easier to transmit with transactions without the middle person taking all of it. Okay, I love you. And I love all your comments. I just can't see them because I've shifted my way of engaging. So it is